between the Heat and the Sixers, though not down the street for me, which is a bit of a bummer. This one's in Philadelphia. Miami leads the series 2-1, but the 2 wins for the Heat came in those games where the Sixers were without Joel Embiid. In his return, the Sixers got a boost, and not just in the box score. Here's our Corey Alexander.
I don't think the Heat can slow down Embiid. No one's been able to slow down Embiid the entire season. I believe he should be the most valuable player of the NBA this year, and he's only going to be better after the Game 3 performance where he hadn't done anything for a week. He now comes back with a couple reps. He's got some shots up yesterday, I'm sure. He will be better offensively and still as dominant defensively as he was in Game 3, especially when you consider it's on his home floor once again. I believe we'll see an even better Embiid in Game 4.
The Sixers outscored the Heat by 20 points in Game 3 after being outscored by a combined 30 points over the first 2 games. Philly also drastically improved the three-point shooting in Game 3. Of course, that was when Embiid was available.
What to watch for today on ESPN, Game 4, Suns and Mavericks in Dallas. Luka and the Mavs trying to pull even in the series after clamping down on Phoenix's high-scoring offense, limiting the Suns to just 94 points in Game 3. The fewest points scored by Phoenix in any game since last year's conference finals. Coverage starts 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN with NBA Countdown. And here's Greeny and the Countdown crew now with a look ahead.
All right, thank you very much. With Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose, we are getting set for a good one, we hope, in Dallas. And we have Michael Wilbon with us, who was in the Valley of the Sun, so only appropriate to start with him. Michael, what is your expectation for this afternoon's Game 4?
Well, I expect the Phoenix Suns to play with a lot more detail to attention to detail than they did in Game 3, Greeny, and particularly Chris Paul. I mean, the turnovers he had, I don't even recognize those. I don't even associate those with Chris Paul. I certainly don't expect Chris Paul to have a second straight non-Chris Paul game. Not in the playoffs, not when, you're looking to stay out of a 2-2 battle that's prolonged and then forecast to a Game 6 or 7. I expect the Suns to look like the number 1 seed in Game 4 and sort of come back home here to the desert with a 3-1 series lead.
Sometimes, Jalen, desperation does the work for you, and it's sort of felt that way. We had the game 3 Friday night with the Mavericks. Can they replicate that? What do we expect from this one today?
Well, I agree with Wilbon about the fact that the Phoenix Suns are going to respond, but I want to just make sure I say this. After watching Luka and Giannis these last couple of nights, there are a few unstoppable forces in the NBA. Joel Embiid falls into that category as well. And they're not slowing Luka down regardless. Jalen Brunson had a terrific game, and obviously it was great to see a couple other guys making shots, but Luka has shown me that he's the most dominant perimeter player in the game. He can post. He was being guarded by Mikal Bridges. It was just like Giannis literally driving to the basket against the Boston Celtics. That's exactly how physical Luka was against the Phoenix Suns. They're going to have to find a way to sink down, make him give up that ball.
So I appreciate where you're coming from. Let me say this to you, bro. Yeah, he did his thing Game 3. What did he do in Game 2 in the fourth quarter when they were coming at him? Nothing. He couldn't guard anybody. So listen, I know Luka's big time offensively, but he's a liability defensively, which is going to make Game 4 that much more interesting. But I'm going to tell y'all right now what to watch. And Wilbon's going to smile when I say this. Did you see Reggie Bullock join at Devin Booker? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that was a mistake. I believe that is not something that you do when you're Reggie Bullock. I respect him. I like him. But Devin Booker is a star in this league with an attitude and a chip on his shoulders. And I suspect it's going to be big for Game 4 Sunday. And Reggie Bullock and the Mavs are in a world of trouble because of it.
On that day, and Wilbon mentioned it, Chris Paul had a career high of turnovers in the first half. It was because of Reggie Bullock picking him up 94 feet.
Won't happen again.
Deserved the opportunity to talk that night.
We will see the championship teams put these series away when they have a chance to, and the Suns have that chance. We'll see you for Countdown this afternoon. Let's send it back to Sports.
Not to Devin Booker.
Yeah, not the Devin Booker. The Mavs, and for that matter, the Sixers, did a good job winning Game 3 and avoiding the dreaded 0-3 series deficit. But winning...
What you reppin'? Where you at or where you from? Giannis just pulling with everybody. As badly as you played. This game is winnable. Milwaukee better start paying attention here.
Ain't nobody that could hold me down. This right here.
The Celtics lead. They were down 14 early in this quarter. Giannis gets the layup, giving Milwaukee a 1-point lead. Smart puts it up. No. Tip won't go. Another try. Horford. No. He tips it in, but it's afterwards. The game is over.
Game 3 was Giannis's 5th career playoff game with at least 40 and 10, the most in Bucks history. The only players league-wide with such games over the last 25 years, some guys named LeBron and Shaq. Giannis wasn't sure if he should say more about Game 3.
Mr. Dan, is Mr. Dan here? No? Barry, how much does it cost if I say something, a comment about the ref? Is it 20,000? It's a lot of money, eh? So I should not do it. I save my money, I gotta pay for diapers.
There is never an issue when it comes to saving money, especially when it comes to 20,000. Am I right, Jalen?
Giannis like, get your hands out my pocket. I ain't mad at him. Plus, he played with his older brother, so it totally makes sense.
Exactly. So, Jalen, after struggling from the field in the first 2 games of the series, how did Giannis bounce back this afternoon?
He continued to attack and didn't settle. Early in the game, he shot a couple of threes. He missed a couple of free throws, but he didn't stop being aggressive. He played like a guy that's a defending champion, somebody that's been MVP of this league, and somebody that's very much the unstoppable force that we have in the game, the best player in the NBA. As he strides through the entire Boston Celtics defense, it doesn't matter who's guarding him, an equal opportunity employer. And now all of a sudden he wants to make his teammates better. Drive, kick, and that's Wesley Matthews, the guy that's making threes, who was also in the jersey the entire game of Jason Tatum.
All right, speaking of Tatum, he shot 4 of 19 from the field this afternoon. What did you see the Bucks do differently to slow him down today?
Wesley Matthews, he was 0 for 10 when being guarded by him. Took away his airspace, took away his legs, did a great job of contesting everything, and he stayed poised. He didn't do a lot of gambling. He didn't do a lot of fouling. They stayed in front of him. Drew Holiday fighting over and under screens, doing the dryer, getting over and under the screen with the contest. And Giannis with the rebound, getting the team out in transition. Here playing without fouling, making a play in the crowd, getting the defensive board, getting out in transition. Frustrating Jason Tatum the entire game, along with Marcus Smart. The Milwaukee Bucks took this game on their home floor.
My man knows his basketball, and he's also got the crispiest hairline in the game. Jalen Rose, thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, family.
A comment about the ref. Is it 20,000? I save my money, I gotta pay for diapers.
He's a big kid now. Max and Kevin with you on SportsCenter. For those of you who just watched grown men and women punch each other in the face on UFC 274, there were gut punches in the NBA, metaphorical ones. Yep. But the point is, Ja and the Grizz, they're warriors.
Left a shiner on the Dubs there in Game 2 in Memphis, much the way the Celtics did to Milwaukee, Game 2 in Boston today. Chance to flex their muscles again against Giannis and the boys. Game 3, both teams were nothing if not rested, right? 4-day layoff with the Eastern Conference semis even at 1 apiece. Giannis got off to a good start early in the paint. He dominated 6'11", 242 pounds of Greek god, people. Like wrestling a tank trying to stop him. 20 points in all in the first half. Second quarter, Drew Holiday turns it over. Jason Tatum the other way. Giannis bangs into him. Tatum's down. He's grabbing that left wrist. He would stay in the game, but he was not himself, and that was a huge, huge story in Game 3. Third quarter, Bucks down 1. Giannis let a Pele off the window and 1. Bucks in front by 2. Just over a minute later, too fresh to be stale. Made it a 4-point Bucks lead. Midway through the third, now an 8-point game in transition. Giving it up, Holiday from Giannis and shimmy, shimmy, ya. Look at the gorgeous feed and the celebration of himself. Bucks led by 13 heading into the fourth, but hang on, here come the Celtics behind. Al Horford. Yes, Al Horford. 4 of 7 from behind the arc in this one. Made it a 4-point game. Really turned back the clock in this one. Horford went for 22 points, 16 rebounds. Boston is within 2. Under 3 to go. It's a 1-point Buck lead. Antetokounmpo, 16 of 30 from the field, 42 points in all, 6th career 40-point playoff game. 20 seconds to go. Holiday really looked for his in this one. Gets the home roll. He had 25. Bucks by 3. Trying to hold off Boston. 11 seconds to go. Jaylen Brown looking for space. Eventually gives it up to Marcus Smart, who is fouled, and that was awfully close. We watched this live without makeup on. We thought it might be 3. Here's Smart.
What you guys see? I would like somebody to answer that. I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, it's not like he got me when it was down low. I was already in my shooting motion. I thought it was 3 free throws. They said it wasn't. They didn't give me any explanation. When I went to ask, they looked at me funny, went to the free throw line.
Looked like he was in the act of shooting. They ruled it a 2-shot foul. He made the first, intentionally misses the second, gets his own, and then how many opportunities did Boston get? Horford at the buzzer. It goes down, and the Celtics think they forced overtime, but they would, of course, review it, take an extra look, and clearly the clock hit zeros, the red light on before the ball leaves Horford's fingertips. The Bucks take Game 3, 103-101, take a 2-1 series lead in the Eastern Conference semifinals. What a performance from Giannis and Drew Holiday, who combined for 67 of the Bucks' 103 points in Game 3. Milwaukee relied on both heavily. They became the first teammates each to shoot 30 times in a playoff game since MJ and Scottie in 1993. Holiday and the Freak were the first to do it in a regulation playoff game since 1965. Giannis on those guys wearing gray jerseys.
I just got to play through it. We all got to play through it. There's going to be sometimes they're going to call it, sometimes they're not going to call it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's what Drew said. It's playoff basketball, and it's going to be a little bit more physical. But you know, if you're about that, you're about that. If you're not, you're going to shy away from it.
Yeah, intent was not the foul, but I think I just jumped out a little bit too much, and I felt like Marcus was still faced toward the sideline. So a little bit of luck, huh?
How did you see that play where they called Marcus? I don't want to give him 2 shots.
It was a foul. It was a foul. He caught the ball. He's turning it into a shot. Both feet set. You can't say that's a sweep like that. You're going into a shot. So poor call, poor no call. It's one of the ones that stand out, but just a little bit too much. I mean, let me talk to the refs. Let them be at the refs, and let's keep playing. We invite that physicality and don't want to be the team crying about it.
Intense game. So a lot of ups and downs. Some calls didn't go our way. Obviously, we upset about that, but it's over now. You move on.
And they move on down 2-1. Jason Tatum, 4 for 19 from the field in Game 3. Second lowest field goal percentage in a postseason game in his career. He was 0 for 10 when guarded by Wesley Matthews, the most misses without a made shot by any player against a single defender in a playoff game since 2014, Game 4.